This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on PM's visit to Bangladesh. The participants are Veena Sikri, former diplomat, and Simran Sodhi, journalist.
The PM visited Bangladesh for 2 days, and this was also the 50th year of close ties between India and Bangladesh. This also marked the centenary of the birth of Bangladesh's founding father Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the Prime Minister also participated in the Golden Jubilee celebrations of Bangladesh's independence. We have also seen that 5 MOUs have been signed during this visit, and the Prime Minister with his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina held talks, and both countries have resolved to take this bilateral relationship forward. Ambassador Sikri, when you see this visit of the Prime Minister to Dhaka, how much of an impetus has this imparted to the bilateral ties between India and Bangladesh?
It is a significant visit. In every way, it is described by the Prime Minister in his article as a Sonali Adhyay, a new chapter, a golden chapter, a new push to Bangladesh-India relations. Because this visit was full of very significant symbolism, but also very great substance. So this combination of symbolism and substance has lent a great deal of importance to the visit. As you said, it is indeed the celebratory mode which caused the visit to take place when it did, because 26th of March was the 50th anniversary of the independence of Bangladesh, the victory of Bangladesh in the Liberation War. And together with that, the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh-India relations and the birth centenary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The significance is that 50 years ago, Bangladesh and India were together, shoulder to shoulder, fighting the genocidal attack from Pakistan, in which 3 million people died, 200,000 women were raped. Terrible, absolutely. One of the worst such genocidal attacks anywhere in the world. And 50 years later, by side together, continuing to be friends and partners, participating now in the economic development of Bangladesh and India, growing together, sharing values, and bringing our individual strengths to develop the region, the sub-region, and the region, and the whole of Asia. So I think this was a great deal of symbolism. And you saw that when Prime Minister was the guest of honor at the 50th anniversary celebrations, the National Day of Bangladesh on 26th March, the speech made by our Prime Minister, the speech made by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, they were full of emotion, full of very genuine feeling. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina mentioning in such strong and warm words about her affection for India, how India has helped Bangladesh at every turn, how she lived in India after her father had been assassinated and there was a military dictatorship in Bangladesh after that. And our Prime Minister mentioning his own involvement with the move for Bangladesh liberation together with other members like former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee of the Jan Sangh at that time. So, this was really a very significant moment for the people of Bangladesh to hear this and to feel this warmth of friendship between the two leaders. But the second day, on the 27th of March, when the Prime Ministers of India and Bangladesh had their substantive meeting, had the delegation-level discussions, and signed all the documents, that is when we also saw that in addition to the symbolism, there has been really great movement ahead on the substance of the relationship between India and Bangladesh. And I think that the important point about this movement ahead is that it is taking place all along. It is not only when visit takes place like my Prime Minister's visit, but a week or 10 days before this visit, there was the Friendship Bridge, the Maitri Setu, inaugurated virtually by the two Prime Ministers. And in December 2020, there was a virtual summit between the two Prime Ministers where they had again issued a joint statement with very substantive progress on connectivity projects and trade and so on. So obviously, the relationship between Bangladesh and India is developing according to a very strong plan agreed by both countries, and it is being accompanied by constant review, monitoring, implementation of the projects, and this has been a great matter of strength. If we look at the various documents signed, I would say that the MOU on the establishment of a framework of trade, of cooperation in the area of trade between India and Bangladesh is very substantive, because it not only will mean that both countries are going to constantly review the area of trade. Bangladesh wants to increase their exports to India, and India is willing to help them in every way through whatever problems there may be, non-tariff barriers, para-tariff barriers, and both countries are moving ahead to sign a CEPA, a Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, and talks on that have been held, and the model is being discussed and so on. So this was really very important. And the cooperation between Bangladesh and India, as seen through the agreements not only signed yesterday, but also the earlier discussions that have been taking place, is now encompassing all fields of cooperation. It's like what our foreign minister called a 360-degree partnership. Every sector is covered. And you see young entrepreneurs being involved. 50 startup entrepreneurs from Bangladesh will come to India. You see the 1,000 scholarships, additional scholarships being given to Bangladesh students, the Golden Jubilee scholarships they are called. This is new and will mean much more people-to-people interaction when Bangladesh students come to India.
Ambassador Sikri, Prime Minister in Bangladesh also handed over a symbolic key to his counterpart for 109 ambulances, which are a gift by India, and also talk a little about the vaccine Maitri. India has donated around 1.2 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines as a grant to Dhaka, and that we have seen that this vaccine Maitri has been extended to almost all nations in the neighborhood, Bangladesh being one of the recipients. How do you see this vaccine Maitri then playing out in the neighborhood first policy, and also when you come to the India-Bangladesh relationship?
The health sector of cooperation, which is indeed comparatively new in the cooperation between India and Bangladesh, but very, very significant, because the COVID pandemic has shown to South Asia and to the rest of the world that health emergencies are just around the corner at all times. They can occur at any time, and countries need to be prepared. And our Prime Minister, immediately after the pandemic hit South Asia, our Prime Minister had convened a virtual summit of the South Asian countries and declared the importance of South Asian countries cooperating in this. And among the countries of cooperation in South Asia, the cooperation between Bangladesh and India in overcoming the pandemic has been among the largest. And we saw right from the beginning, whether it is PPEs or masks or medicines or training of doctors, this happened on a regular basis between India and Bangladesh over the last 1 year. And now when the vaccine has come on the scene, and it is very, very important at this time, then Bangladesh has received one of the largest grants or gifts of vaccines from India. Originally 2 million doses were given as gifts. Now yesterday another 1.2 million doses have been given as gifts. In addition, Bangladesh has made arrangements with the help of India to secure commercial supplies from the Indian manufacturer Serum Institute of India. So all this is going to contribute greatly to the Bangladesh's efforts to overcome the pandemic, and this has been very significant. In every way, I think the multi-sectoral cooperation between Bangladesh and India has shown that indeed the Bangladesh-India relationship is a model, the example that all of South Asia can follow. And in fact, our Prime Minister mentioned that the friendship with Bangladesh, the cooperation with Bangladesh is a key pillar of India's neighborhood first foreign policy. And indeed, this has been illustrated in every way because all the sectors have been covered. The 109 ambulances are very much a part of the health sector cooperation. And I would say that if you look beyond the neighborhood first policy, Bangladesh has acquired importance, as we can see through the talks between our Prime Ministers and as mentioned in the joint statement, even in our Act East policy. In India's Act East policy, the cooperation with Bangladesh is very significant because we are looking at Bangladesh holding a very special position as a bridge country between South Asia and Southeast Asia. And all these connectivity and infrastructure projects that are being developed over the last many months, in fact, these last few years have seen a great progress in the development of the infrastructure projects. And through this, we can see that the access of India and Bangladesh to Northeast India and through Northeast India to the rest of Southeast Asia is now a great reality. And Bangladesh has requested to join the India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway, and through that they will have access to the Southeast Asian countries. So Bangladesh is very interested. Also, we see from October this year, Bangladesh is going to be the chairperson of the IORA, Indian Ocean Rim Association, and they have requested to work with India in this area. So we see that in the maritime area also the cooperation is very significant.
Ambassador Sikri, the issue of the Teesta water agreement, which continues to be talked about, but it's an agreement which is still not reached. We also saw that in the meeting between the two prime ministers, the Teesta water agreement issue was raised. Another issue that has come up is the issue related to the Rohingyas. And India has said that it would be happy to facilitate a safe, speedy and sustainable return of the forcibly displaced people from Myanmar. How do you see, one, the Teesta agreement, which talks have been going on for a long time, but we really haven't seen an agreement, and the Rohingya issues? How does this play in the bilateral relationship?
The Teesta River Water Sharing Agreement is very important because between any two countries, for any country individually, water availability is crucial, and Bangladesh has been having of great concern that the Teesta River, which has a very long dry period of about 7 months, and during these months a very small, only 10% of the total supply of water is available. So this is something that is of great concern to them. Now it is known that way back in 2011, India and Bangladesh had agreed to a document on river water sharing sharing of the Teesta River. But because of the internal politics of India, the position of one state government, this could not actually take place. And India has always shown the greatest importance to concluding this agreement. In fact, the Prime Minister on 26th, when he met a lot of the groups in Bangladesh, he met the alliance partners of Awami League, he met the opposition parties, he met young entrepreneurs. Each of them asked him about Teesta. And each time he gave his own assurance that I am doing my best to get this Teesta River agreement concluded as soon as possible. And it's mentioned in the document as well, the importance of the Teesta River and the need to conclude it as soon as possible. The water resources is certainly one of the most important and sensitive areas between India and Bangladesh, but both our Prime Ministers have shown the keen importance they attach to it, and I do hope that very soon there will be a progress. Certainly, as far as the Rohingyas is concerned, the forcibly displaced persons from Myanmar, the Bangladesh government is very concerned about it because they have given shelter to these people. More than 1 million displaced persons from Myanmar are now living in the camps in Bangladesh in the Chittagong Hill Tracts region. And Bangladesh is very keen to see an early solution to the problem. And this year, as you know, India is a non-permanent member of the Security Council, and Bangladesh has requested India to play an active role in making sure that this problem is solved. And we certainly would like to see this problem solved. Government of India, Prime Minister Modi and other leaders have assured Bangladesh that we are very serious about this. We are, in fact, that is one of the reasons that we keep in touch with all shades of opinion in Myanmar to see at what stage and how we can find a way out so that the agreed persons, the persons who have the requisite papers and other conditions demanded by the Myanmar government, at least we can begin with those and send them back to Myanmar, and then gradually all the other people can also go back. So this is certainly, it has been flagged in the joint statement and it is there as an important issue, and I'm sure that India and Bangladesh will remain in constant touch on this.
Mr. Sikri, we also see that on security cooperation, recognizing terrorism has remained one of the main points on agenda, and the Prime Minister also expressed India's appreciation for the cooperation extended by Bangladesh on security issues. And we have seen that under Sheikh Hasina, the anti-India elements have not really been able to operate from Bangladesh. How important is this cooperation between the two nations, and also the recognition somewhere that India faces cross-border terrorism from Pakistan, and how this ties into the fact that India has been pressing globally for the recognition that it has been a victim of cross-border terrorism? How does this tie in the equation then?
The cooperation between India and Bangladesh on counterterrorism is one of the significant success stories of the bilateral relationship, and certainly the role of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in readily agreeing that she is not going to support any foreign terrorists on her soil, and she's going to make sure that no anti-Indian action takes place from the soil of Bangladesh. She has given this assurance and she has kept up to the assurance. And right in the beginning, when she came back to power in 2009 for her second term as Prime Minister, and she's now in her fourth term as Prime Minister, at that time she had immediately taken action and completely finished off the support which was being given by the earlier BNP government to the Ulfa and other Northeast Indian insurgent groups who were taking shelter in Bangladesh. And Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina even handed back some of the senior members of these groups who were living in Bangladesh. So she has shown great seriousness, and she's very clear that she's doing it because she thinks that it does not benefit Bangladesh in any way. There is no interest in Bangladesh keeping foreign terrorists on their soil, and it only harms the security interests of Bangladesh. And she says that the people of Bangladesh don't want it either, and this is true. So I think that this support from Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has been very valuable. And beyond that, now you see the security agencies of India and Bangladesh, they are constantly cooperating, they're constantly exchanging news and information and updating their data sheets and making sure that this cross-border effort, whether Pakistan does it through Bangladesh, and they were doing it earlier through Bangladesh very regularly, and now that it should not continue at all, but Pakistan keeps on trying to do it like that. So the cooperation between India and Bangladesh security agencies is very vital in this area, and our cooperation is ensuring the great friendship and support between the two governments is ensuring that this counter-terrorism cooperation remains very high on the agenda and is continuing very actively.
And in the coming days, we will continue our discussions on the India-Bangladesh relationship and on the Prime Minister's very successful visit to Dhaka. With this, we bring today's discussion to an end. Thank you.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on PM's visit to Bangladesh. The participants were Veena Sikri, former diplomat, and Simran Sodhi, journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR. This program is also available on our website newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsttalks@gmail.com.